Hi everyone, and welcome to What's New in Vectorworks Architect 2011. This year the development team has created some tools and features that are absolutely second to none. The results: better models, better information, better BIM. We'll be using several projects from noted international architects to showcase a sampling of the new features. Features that will make your 2D drafting and 3D modeling even more accurate. Improvements and additions that continue to make our product flexible, versatile, intuitive, and smart, making change easier than ever before. So let's jump right in and have a look at the best of the best. One of the first things you'll notice is there's only one selection tool. This can only mean one thing. Now, more than ever, Vectorworks is a true 3D modeling environment. Looking at this image, for example, it's a typical 2D plan, but perhaps there's a better way to explain this 2D view. Notice when we go to an isometric view, now in 2011, all hatches, text, dimensions, gradients, and solids can be displayed in 3D. But wait, there's more. Much more. Last year we emphasized the use of working planes. So let's take a look at how our new 2D, 3D environment responds to working planes. Here we'll set up a working plane from a simple 3D object, and with one mouse click we'll place the planar objects on the working plane, just like that. And here we can see the results of several working planes being used to create this image. Like I said, notice how text, dimensions, solids, and gradients all respond to being set on the working plane. Just imagine the possibilities, from meetings with the contractor to client presentations. Oh, and I forgot to mention planar images. We've included them as well. Check this out. Now images such as this floor tile can be mapped onto planar objects and displayed in 3D. Like I mentioned earlier, we use planar views to help explain a project. Well, here's an improvement to the Extract tool that'll make developing these views even easier. Create Planar Objects has been added in the Preferences dialog. Notice how the entire face becomes highlighted upon selection. This should make it really easy to determine what face you're getting ready to select, resulting in fewer mistakes and speeding up the overall modeling process. Once the surface has been extracted, watch this. Oh yes, we can now hatch the surface. Here's a building facade with an articulated shading system that was modeled with the aid of working planes to create many of the components. In combination with working planes, we relied on another tool, the push-pull tool. This is the protrusion tool that's been renamed to reflect the new ease of use of this feature. So let's take a closer look. We'll zoom in on the rotating mechanism of the shade system and see how the symbol might be made. Notice how that in 2011 we can show the 2D geometry in an isometric view. It's easy to pick faces and pull them out to the required thickness. You can do it on the fly like we're doing here, or you can use the heads-up display to draw accurately. Also notice the highlighting of the face that I spoke about earlier. Makes it really easy to grab the correct surface. The shade system here has some support brackets that need a little work. These are drawn as symbols as well, so we'll need to do a little editing within the symbol. No problem. First we'll establish a working plane on one of the main faces of the bracket. Notice how we can draw the circle directly on the face in this arbitrary 3D view. Hey, that's pretty cool. We'll then use the third mode of the push-pull tool to create a couple of lightning holes in the brackets. And there you have it. Using one of the upper floors of the Rojo building as an example, let's look at one of the most basic and elemental BIM tools, the space object, and we've made some real improvements for 2011. You'll be able to quickly and elegantly add an array of BIM and IFC compliant as well as GSA specific details. Here, let's take a look. One of the first things you'll notice when you open the Space Settings dialog box is the updated layout in a triptych or three-part configuration, placing all of the settings in an easy-to-navigate palette. Additionally, a number of productivity features have been added, such as a number of nicely conceived and quite flexible space tags for displaying space names, as well as additional information like the space number. Auto-numbering of spaces, you asked for it and we made it happen. There's also a very quick method for changing or updating space names as a pull-down right in the Object Info palette. Use the preloaded standards or create your own, no problem. You'll also be able to define the boundaries of individual spaces in a number of ways. By wall face, yes, inside, outside, or centerline. By a given standard like BOMA, yes, which is a US-based standard, or by a standard that you create and define that meets your particular jurisdictional requirements. We believe you'll find this to be a well-tuned addition to the already powerful productivity tool sets included in Vectorworks Architect. And of course, once you've defined your spaces, you'll want to create some walls to surround them. And we've developed some innovative features for making walls more intelligent than ever. In fact, we've practically taken the wall tool apart and reconstructed it, so that now each individual wall component is a 3D object. And these components can be individually manipulated, textured, and quantified in a worksheet. Need the drywall to stop at the underside of the ceiling? Absolutely no problem. Each component can be set at a different height. And to provide the user with the ability to further modify their walls, here's another tool right from the wish list. Wall end caps have been added to the building shell toolset. Now you'll be able to get those components to properly cap the ends of walls just the way you'd really build them. And not only can you cap the end of, say, an interior wing wall, you'll also be able to add and clip the components to create custom wall caps either outside or inside the wall endpoint. In addition, you'll be able to create a stepped wall from an existing wall segment or from multiple segments. This is perfect for buildings designed to be placed on any kind of slope. Just select Create Stepped Wall and voila, you have the option of evenly spaced steps, steps with a constant rise, or even steps that follow the contour of the DTM. How smart is that? And now that we have walls, let's look at another major architectural feature, slabs. The new slab tool found in the Building Shell toolset will create BIM-compliant slabs that'll interact with bounding walls. So now when you move a wall, the corresponding slab will extend with it. You can then save the slab with slab styles, just like wall styles. Oh, and did I mention that slabs have components? Oh yes, just like walls. So following this through to a sectional view, you'll get correct wall-to-floor connections. To further modify a slab, you can also create cutouts and depressions in any component, any of which can be individually queried and scheduled for material takeoffs. Once again, better models, better information, better BIM. So now that we have spaces, walls, and slabs, what's next? Roofs, of course. Arguably one of the more tedious tasks sometimes, we've made exploring roof design options a snap. By extending the functionality of the Connect Combine tool, you can now have the ability to automatically connect roof faces to a variety of objects. And since the tool has several modes, you can choose from a variety of trimming and joining options. You say you need that dormer roof to automatically resolve onto the main roof? 2 mouse clicks and you're done. This tool will definitely become your friend. And now that you have a conceptual design for your building, you'll need to explore the implications of some of those decisions in a sectional view. Well, do we have a tool for you? Introducing Design Layer Section Viewports. Now you can place section viewports on your design layers. This opens up a broad range of possibilities for exploring your designs. And since these new viewports reside on a design layer, they can be referenced into other files, increasing the flexibility of your workflow when working with referenced information. And now here's one that's sure to please, scalable symbols. And here's how to use them. We'll go to this floor plan and pull out a couple of symbols from the resource browser. In this case, a couple of area rugs. Now we'll select one in the drawing and apply a scale factor to it. Notice how the original symbol is unchanged. We can also rescale symbols on the fly. Once again, notice how the original symbol remains unchanged. But now let's say we want to edit that original symbol. No problem. Edit as usual, and all the symbol instances associated with that original symbol, regardless of size, will update. Oh, now that's very cool indeed. We've improved our text editor in a number of ways. First, how many times have you had a set of drawings with inconsistent font size and style? Well, now we can clean this up really quickly. You'll be able to change and update fonts as easily as symbols. In fact, the solution is the introduction of a new type of resource called text style. You can now manage your fonts, sizes, styles, and colors and name them as a discrete text style, which can then be saved in the resource browser. To use it, either select a text style from the Object Info palette or simply drag and drop a text style onto your text block in your drawing. For example, now let's apply a text style to the headers of our general notes sheet. Just select the headers along the top and go to the Object Info palette and select the text style you created for headers. And there you have it. Now let's edit a text style. Remember, text styles behave like symbols, so once you change the color and size, all of the text updates to the new text style. Also note that text styles can be applied to other text objects like viewport annotations and drawing borders. An additional text editing feature is Perfect Preview text editing. We're taking the guesswork out of your work. With the Perfect Preview option, you'll be able to see exactly how the text will be drawn and printed after you're done editing and before you print. And yet here's another solution for a long-time wish list item. You can now fully justify your text. Just select that option from the pull-down in the Object Info palette. And now let's touch on some of the other improvements that are bound to enhance your productivity and make designing just that much easier. We've reorganized the palettes for both doors and windows. The triptych or three-part theme will vastly improve your ability to create and modify windows and doors. For instance, with the elimination of the styles classes, you'll be able to choose a class that's user-defined for each part of the window or door, all from one pane in the palette. You'll also get a choice of preview options that'll make visualizing your choices that much easier. Stairs have also received a number of improvements. For instance, stairs can now be auto-classed, and many of the parametric constraints are now more logically arranged, as well as graphic attributes are centrally located. From a design perspective, several features such as being able to create a straight stair with 2 landings and the ability to define different widths for flights and landings has been added. Handrails and guardrails have also been given an overhaul to allow more options. We've also tweaked the controls for winders a bit. You can now specify different tread depths within the 90-degree turn, providing you with the ability to properly design that type of stair. So we saved one of the best for last. As you probably know, Renderworks in 2010 allowed you to produce some very nice renderings, as you can see. But many of you asked for more. You asked for faster rendering capabilities. You asked for higher quality, more realistic images. And you wondered if it could be easier to use. And so we thought, why not? So after hearing your requests, we didn't just improve the old rendering capabilities. We started from scratch with a whole new rendering engine. Cinema 4D. Now Renderworks is better than even we thought it could be. Here, watch this. The speed is obviously there. In this case, it's about 5 to 7 times faster. And the quality, yes, that's there too. And you'll be duly impressed and surprised at the improved control of both shaders and light. making the addition of the Cinema 4D rendering engine a must-have feature. As I said earlier, and I'm sure you'll agree, the development team has been hard at work this year, and it shows. Vectorworks 2011 is loaded with some really exciting new tools and features that are sure to make your modeling experience easier than ever.